So, you've just seen Dan Locke, Grant Cardone, Alex Becker, Ty Lopez, and the other 108 million results on Google teaching you how to make passive income. Well, chances are the man that we'll focus on in this video makes more passive income per year with just one of his passive income sources than what those internet gurus make altogether. Now, I don't have the data to support this claim exactly, but you gotta give me that. $4.5+ billion per year with just one source of passive income is just bananas, right? And I know there are indeed few to none real passive income opportunities and sources out there. For most of them, you still have to live at a certain place, you still have to block a certain period of your day to manage it, still have to maintain it every week or month or so. And just in general, it's not as passive as those guys chilling on islands, drinking strawberry daiquiris by the pools of the rented houses that they're in make it look like, right? Well, as I said, there are still a few types of passive income streams that come quite close to being completely passive, although not 100%, still quite close, and one of them is the unknown almighty dividend. And I know you've already read the title of this video, you already know that we'll be talking about Warren Buffett in this video, but what you don't know is that Berkshire Hathaway, of which Warren Buffett is the co-owner and CEO, makes more than $4.5 billion per year just by sitting on those dividend shares. Or wait, you maybe do know that since it is public information, or yeah, never mind. What you don't know though is that in this video, we'll take a look at the top 10 holdings that pay Buffett the most dividend each year. And we'll do that with the help of a simple Excel sheet. We'll take a look at how much of these companies he holds and how much that single holding pays him in dividends, and we'll even take a look at the basic numbers for these companies. But of course, to save it a cliche, we won't be talking about Apple, as we all know that that's Buffett's biggest holding and they pay him the most dividend, that's obvious, so we won't be focusing on that one, but instead we will focus on his top 10 holdings after Apple in terms of dividends. And if you're tough enough and you stick around until the end of the video, I'll even give you a hint as to where you can get this sheet that we just made with all of the 33 dividend paying companies that Buffett holds in his portfolio. And I'll also let you know where you can follow his complete, up-to-date stock market portfolio with all his holdings and not only the dividend-paying ones. Wait a second, do you feel that? Are you forgetting something? Yeah, I can somewhat feel it. You still haven't liked the video. What's up with that? Hit the thumbs up button underneath the player of this video and let's get on with it. What's up, family? My name is Antonio, and on this channel we bring in the newest, hottest, and most interesting investment opportunities out there. And although we are strictly against simply copying other people's portfolio, and all we do on this channel is trying to motivate you to start your own research and start building your personal investment strategy, it definitely doesn't hurt to, every once in a while, take a look at what the big dogs out there are doing and trying to analyze how and why they're doing it, and maybe even pick out some valuable tips and tricks, or even some valuable ways of investing that you hadn't heard about. So that's why this video is definitely not investing advice. We're not saying go and copy Buffett, we are saying go and learn the best side from Buffett's portfolio to then go and build your own investment strategy and put together your personal portfolio, just so we're straight here. But before people start complaining about the video starting too late and me talking too much, which honestly is perfectly in their right since I am talking too much, we will dive into the video already. Coming in at number 10 is the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BK. And yup, the name indeed already gives it away. This is indeed a financial institution, and more specifically, they specialize in providing financial services to other institutions and high net worth individuals through their two segments, without being investment management and investment services, which places them perfectly in the asset and wealth management industry. Other than that, as most of Buffett's holdings, this is a large cap company with a market cap of over $45 billion, a trailing PE ratio of just above 12, and a forward PE ratio of around 11, which is perfectly in line with Buffett's favorite 15. Profit and operating margins are coming in quite strongly at 25% profit and over 31% operating margin, whereas the ROE, the number that Buffett's like seeing above 8% is at around 10% with this company. And do they pay a dividend, you ask? It would be weird if they weren't paying a dividend, right? Since this is a video on dividend stocks, but yeah, both ways, I respect all of your questions. We don't judge over here, so yes, they do pay a dividend of 2.33%. And other than being in love with their business model and financials, Buffett's probably also in love with the $90.5 million they pay him per year just to be their shareholder. And actually, you will experience this throughout this video, but every one of these holdings that Buffett has in his portfolio that he has been holding for quite some time now, they all fit perfectly within his simple investing strategy, one of the main basics that he builds upon being invest only in what you know and understand. Buffett's background is in finance, he knows this world, he understands it, and the companies that you see in this video, most of them also generate most of their cash within the borders of the US, which obviously is again a market that Buffett knows and understands since he has been investing in it for quite some time now. Anyhow, another stock that Buffett has publicly shown to like very much is Delta Airlines, that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol DAL, and if the name hasn't given it away yet, this company provides air transportation for passengers and cargo. But what the name doesn't tell you is that they operate in two segments, with that being airline and also refinery. They currently offer more than 5,000 daily departures and as much as 15,000 affiliated departures, taking close to 200 million people to more than 300 destinations each year. And in total, the company has about 800, let's call them iron birds in action, and a market cap of around $37 billion, whereas the trailing PE is currently under 10 and the forward PE is under 8. And no, that's not thanks to a recent decline in prices. The company actually managed to defeat the S&P 500 index in the last 52 weeks, growing about 8% more than the index. Other than that, you will also witness that they actually generate more in sales than what the company sells for on the open market, and that brings them to a price to sales ratio of about 0.8, which again is perfectly in line with Buffett's strategy, because as he likes saying, you should never settle with a company to pay too much for it when there is probably a company that does the exact same thing in the exact same industry that you can pay half the price for. And other than having this low valuation, what Warren sees more in this company is the $99.3 million dividend that they are paying him because of their very stable dividend yield of 2.45%. Another company that he sees potential in is General Motors Company, that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol GM, and this company has one of the highest dividend yields amongst Buffett's portfolio, coming in at close to 4% annual dividend and holding over 72.2 million shares. This company brings Buffett an annual passive income of around $110 million. Other than that, I'm guessing you already know what they do, and some of the most famous brands that they currently hold are Chevrolet, GMC, and Cadillac. So please notice, again, only invest in what you know and understand. Can you maybe by any chance guess what car Buffett drives around in? Exactly. Again, this is a large cap company with a market cap of right under $55 billion, whereas Yahoo Finance estimates the enterprise value at around $150 billion, which is about 3 times their market cap today. They currently have a PE ratio of around 6, and the forward PE ratio looks almost the same, also at around 6. Price to sales ratio is ridiculously low at 0.4 because they also generate revenues that are almost 3 times their market cap as of today, and their return on equity is even at 22.75%, which is, for Buffett, is like a dream come true. And it is definitely a good thing, because actually that also suggests that they are using the shareholders' money the right way, to generate profits for the company and develop the company in the long run. Coming in at number 7 of the highest income generating stocks for Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett's portfolio portfolio is another financial institution, and I'm talking about JP Morgan Chase that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol JPM. And this bank does it all. They have corporate and investment banking, commercial banking, consumer and community banking, and they even operate a wealth and asset management branch. And by the way, just a short break for the people amongst you that are getting tired of listening to my rant over here. If you haven't read the book Morgan, American Financier, written by Gene Strauss, read it, and that might help you understand why, where, and how JP Morgan come to exist. But anyhow, now back to the video. The stock has actually been on a wild ride in the last year, going up and down to as low as $91 and as high as $120, where it currently trades at around $115, which also gives the company a market cap of around $365 billion and a negative enterprise value according to Yahoo Finance, whereas the PE ratio comes in at around 12 and the forward PE at around 10. This company pays and actually has been paying a very stable dividend for quite some time now, and the current dividend yield of the company comes in at 2.85%, which brings Buffett about $160 million per year in passive income. The next one at number 6 amongst Buffett's best earners is US Bancorp that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol USB. Again, obviously a financial service company that operates through 5 segments, with that being corporate and commercial banking, consumer and business banking, wealth management and investment services, payment services and treasury and corporate support. And actually there is a lot more to this company than what you might think, and that's why you should really take your time researching their fundamentals if you're planning on investing in this one, and especially, as Buffett likes to say himself, spend more time reading 10Qs and 10Ks. And if you want to find out why it really makes sense for Buffett and for his personal way of investing to be holding and actually buying more of these bank stocks, you can also stop by our other video that we did exactly on that matter. But other than that, again, a large cap company with a market cap of around $85 billion, a current PE ratio of around 12.5 actually, and a forward PE ratio of around 11.5. The profit and operating margins are also quite good, even for a bank, at 34% profit and 42.5% operating margin. And again, the classical for Buffett, above 8% ROE, coming in at 14%. And with this company, Warren takes home 2.82% on dividends, which for his position of the current moment results in $191.5 million. And actually, just in between the video, please notice that when I say Warren takes home that much money, I'm actually talking about Berkshire Hathaway, which is the company that Warren Buffett's the CEO of. So please keep that in mind while we move to our number 5, and surprise, surprise, coming in at number 5 is another financial institution, and that's the American Express company that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol AXP. Obviously, we all know that American Express provides credit card payment services and the credit cards themselves, but what you maybe don't know is that this company pays Buffett a whopping $236.5 million in dividends per year just for holding their shares. And actually, I have seen this stock in a lot of portfolios lately over here on YouTube, on other blogs, and even amongst our clients over here at Baby, because of Buffett holding it and actually buying more of it. But don't forget that if it's a perfect match for Buffett, that doesn't mean it's a perfect match for you and your personal style of investing. And also, please remember one of his main rules that states buy a stock with the plan of never selling it. Because obviously this is a long-term play for Buffett, and when I see this stock amongst the short-term or mid-long-term portfolios of our clients that doesn't really make sense for their strategy, that means that they're simply copying someone else, and that's really not the point of investing. Besides that, the numbers are again proving to be in line with what Buffett likes seeing. They have a P ratio of around 15 on a slow day and a forward P ratio of around 13, whereas the return on equity that Buffett's like seeing at least 8% is at 32.5% with this company. Coming in next as the highest dividend payer for Buffett is Kraft Heinz company that is listed on the Nasdaq GS exchange under the ticker symbol KHC. And we obviously have all heard of it, you know, Heinz ketchup and the other guilty pleasure sauces, but a lot of people don't know that they also produce other type of packaged foods and even beverages. beverages. Like for example, they produce the beverage Capri Sun, but also other stuff like Philadelphia, ABC, and they have many more brands, offering all different type of foods, including stuff like cheese, meat, and even coffee. And besides their wonderful brands and their delicious products, what we like the most about this company is that beautiful dividend that comes with it, at close to 5% annually, which might not be all that much for us, me and you, but for Buffett, this company brings in about $521 million in almost pure passive income per year. The third highest dividend paying company for Warren Buffett is Bank of America Corporation, that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BAC. And I'm sure that for most people that's an obvious one, but this company actually provides banking and financial product services, and it does that through 4 segments, with that being wealth management, global markets, global banking, and consumer banking. And I know that's definitely not enough to get an understanding of what they do exactly, although after all it is a bank, we will never be allowed to fully know exactly what they do, but you can get a better understanding of their public products and services if you visit their investor relation page over here and follow Buffett's advice, to spend most of your research time on 10Qs and 10Ks, as that actually would give you a real understanding of how the company is dealing with problems and whatnot in the recent times. Other than that, this is again a large cap company with a market cap of around $280 billion at the time of recording of this video, a current PE ratio of 11, and a forward PE ratio of under 10, which sounds quite good, and it also is, but it's also quite in line with the industry's average. Profit and operating margins are, however, above the industry's average at 33% profit and 41% operating margin, and the return they generate with the shareholders' money is about 11%, which obviously is again in line with what Buffett likes seeing. The annual dividend that comes with this company is at 2.01% at the current moment, and for Buffett's position, that means about $540 million per year. Coming in as the second holding that pays Buffett the most dividend, well, actually it's the third, as Apple is the highest dividend payer for Buffett, but as I said, not counting Apple, the second one is the Coca-Cola company. And we obviously all know what they do, we know who they are, and we all enjoy their products destroying our body as they taste so good. But what Buffett enjoys more is that crazy huge dividend of $640 million per year that he gets for simply being a shareholder of the company. No, I said simply being just a shareholder of the company, and that's actually not true, since this is one of the first, if not even the first holding that Buffett went in thus heavily. Starting more than 30 years ago in 1988, he bought more than $1 billion of Coca-Cola shares, which also automatically made it his biggest holding, and that was the case for quite some time afterwards until Apple came along. But that money, that $1 billion, has also helped out the company a lot through the years, and Buffett has also shown to help them not only with money but also some valuable advice. But it is also clear that investment of money and time and efforts and whatnot has played out tremendously for Buffett. He got his shares in Coke for $2.45 per share, I believe, whereas the company's 52 weeks high of the last 52 weeks was at $50.48. And if I were to do the math magic again, which I love doing, that would show up to be a return of... And we're only talking about the return of the stock price appreciation, right? Not even counting dividends here. Other than that, the company currently trades for about $205 billion, whereas the trailing PE ratio is at around 30 and the forward PE ratio is at around 21. And the return on equity is about 4.5 times higher than what Warren Buffett's like seeing at around 35%. However, there have been many concerns about the company's dividend lately. Although Coke has been paying, and not only paying, but actually increasing that dividend for the last 55 years, they currently sit on a payout ratio of almost 96%, which obviously scares away a lot of investors, a lot of dividend investors, including me over here. Because although that dividend does indeed seem quite attractive at 3.3%, the beverage market is evolving rather quickly now, and that cannabis and CBD have come to take a place in it, and that might require the company to be heavily invested investing in the next couple of years if they want to stay the market leader in their industry. Because although it is true that no one can compete with Coca-Cola when it comes down to producing or selling the drink cola, there are plenty of companies out there that can produce new type of drinks that could maybe shift Coca-Cola consumers to being CBD-infused drinks consumers over the next 5 years, right? And if the company doesn't invest heavily back into innovating and developing the business, the sales might even start falling. Of course, they do have quite the cash position at almost $12 billion, and although the debt of the company is quite high at $45.5 billion, I wouldn't worry too much for the existence of the company in the mid-long term, as they are still generating revenues at around $32 billion for the trailing 12 months. And also, you know, the rumors about Coke and Aurora, and also it really makes sense for Coca-Cola the company to invest into Aurora Cannabis. But if you want a more in-depth explanation on why it actually makes sense for Coke to do that, you can also check our other video that we already did on that exact same matter. But other than that, Buffett himself has stated a few times through the years that he'd never sell a single share of the company in his life, as they offer him everything that he's looking for in a company, and on top of that, he enjoys consuming their products. So again, with this holding, you can feel and see, you can smell it even, you can smell Buffett's investing strategy: buy and hold forever what you know and what you understand. And something else that he enjoys is the biggest dividend that he gets from holdings in his stock market portfolio, you know, after Apple, and the company that pays that dividend is Wells Fargo and Company, that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol WFC. So this company offers diversified financial services and also provides retail, commercial, and corporate banking services to individuals, business, and also institutions. They currently operate through 3 segments, with that being community banking, wholesale banking, and wealth and investment management. And even after the scandals of the past few years around this company, and even after the departure of the company's CEO recently, Buffett still supports this company and says that he'd continue being their large shareholder for as long as they keep the business going. And that actually is one of the best investing tips that Buffett's ever given. He says, know which news to focus on, because most of the media just sends out noise and not real news. So again, here he shows that he'd rather trust his own analysis and research rather than what the media says. And I mean, why wouldn't he? The company has already generated him some great returns over the years, and it even pays him an annual dividend of close to 4% at 3.8. And for his giant position as one of the biggest shareholder of Wells Fargo, that brings Warren Buffett about $708,148,023.60 per year. Other than that, the company has a market cap of about $210 billion, a trailing PE of 10.5, and a forward PE of under 10, whereas the profit and operating margins are again in line with the industry's average, and the return on equity, although on the lower side amongst Buffett's holdings, is still above 8% at 11.5%. And just as a quick bonus for the people that did stick around for so long, the real biggest dividend payer for Buffett is indeed Apple Inc., that pays Buffett a whopping groundbreaking dividend of close to $770 million. And other than that, because you stuck around for the end of this video, I promise to tell you where you can get that Excel sheet over here with Buffett's 33 dividend holdings of the current moment, where you can see the dividend yield, the dividend per share, the total shares owned, and the total amount of cash that Buffett gets for holding that particular stock. But please remember, that's just as of May of 2019, and that's not the personal portfolio of Warren Buffett, that is Berkshire's Hathaway portfolio, right? So if you for any reason want to see that Excel sheet, you can get it by joining our free membership group on Facebook at Baby the Hottest Investment Trends, or just follow the link down below. Other than that, I also promise to let you know where you can find an up-to-date overview of Buffett's full portfolio, and honestly, there are countless websites that follow his portfolio out there, but some of my favorites are GuruFocus.com and CNBC.com, the links of which I will share with you if you ask about them down in the comments below. And please notice, I'm definitely not being paid to say any of that, although it would feel good to get paid by CNBC to talk about investing, right? Oh wait. With that being said, I would like to personally thank you for taking a part of your day to be here. It truly means a lot to me, personally and to all of us over here at Baby. And if you are enjoying our content or you think it might be helpful for your investing future, I'd suggest you subscribe to this YouTube channel as it is 100% free, and YouTube will even let you know every time when we publish a new video so you don't miss a thing. And when that's done, we hope to see you in the next one.